Hey guys, welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe Sherwood, and today's video is going to be like piggybacking off of the no contact support video that was last put out, and it's going to be more about the next step and the next step after you begin no contact, and what are you going to be doing to follow through with that and make it a real worthwhile experience no matter the outcome. Before I start, please take the time, the 1 second it takes to hit that thumbs up, to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell for any notifications, and comment. Leave a comment, whether it be this video or something you think you want to hear about, another topic, something related to no contact, dating, whatever it may be. And please take the time to do that now. It only takes 1 second. Like, I get a bunch of views and very little likes. I don't understand that. You just like it. It takes 1 second. So, now with that being said, this is going to piggyback off the no contact support. And the next steps taken after you've been told that the relationship's over. You're clearly not happy with it. You're devastated. This person has made a decision, unilaterally changed the terms of this relationship without consulting you. You've displayed enough unattractive behavior, or in the rare case, this person had no intention of staying with you anyway, with emphasis on rare case. Because somewhere along the line, well, like if you're new to attraction and dating and dynamics, you may not pick up on the fact that you're just being used for dead space, which it does happen. They have people out there who do that, would use somebody just to occupy that space because they don't like being alone. And but if you know what genuine desire looks like, you will know that that's what's happening. However, it's over, and you're left with the shit end of that stick for the time being. And at this moment, maybe you've come across one of my videos or somebody else's, and you've decided to implement no contact, which is an extremely effective, mature reaction, or I should say response, to someone telling you that they no longer want you in their lives as a romantic partner. And you're going to have to go through some time, which I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't have a time frame for you. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's contingent upon the individual, and the certain dynamics of the relationship. How long have you been in? How close were you? Did you really not see it coming? Which I find hard to believe, that it come out of nowhere. But and the type of person you are. You may just have that. You can see this wires hitting my computer, making this camera go all funny. So the point being, it's going to be different lengths of time for different people before they can even begin to think about moving on. But you can come to terms with that mentally and emotionally. But there are things you can do in the meantime. And this is, you begin taking action immediately. Even if you're going through the motions at first, it's not going to amount to a hill of shit in terms of how you feel in the moment, until you've put enough time and space in between the breakup and the amount of work being done. So, but I do know the sooner you start, the better off you are going to be. And going back to the breakup, if you're honest, if you can be completely honest with yourself, and look, I've been on both sides of this, where years back, I've been the unattractive one, and it led to the breakup inevitably. And I've also had the other person do the same thing with the needy, just all around unattractive behavior, where they become needy, uber available, super agreeable, where I'd become the center of their life. Everything revolves around me, and that's such a turnoff. And they become insecure. Like I'd become insecure, needy, just lost focus on the things that I enjoy doing, my purpose, my mission. Which, I mean, back then I really didn't have, quote, purpose. But I mean, it was still things that I enjoyed doing, people I enjoyed being around, that I'd put to the side and made this person the focus of my life. And thinking that is what you're supposed to do, and that was the way to show love, and it was just a mistake. It's stupid, and we don't know any better in those moments. We're doing the best we got with what we have, and that's often what we do as humans, day to day and decision by decision. So yeah, being on both sides of that, and that's just unattractive behavior. And no woman wants a man who is not mission focused, who doesn't have a focus on that purpose, working towards something, working on themselves, and living their own life and making her a part of that. It's like that saying, you meet this other person that completes you, and that's wholly untrue. It's wholly untrue. You should be a complete, well-rounded man with a woman being a complement to your life, and a woman on the same track. And a lot of times you are that man. We were those men in the beginning. And, somewhere along the lines we just, begin to veer from that attitude and that way of life, and and it's not on purpose, just become the needy guy who needs our approval and validation and shit like that. And that's so unattractive for a woman, especially over time, and seeing it repeated and repeated, and she just slowly begins to lose attraction. And the opposite reaction to that, her losing attraction, pulling away, is for the guy to begin to chase, pursue, and try harder and harder and harder, and it's just a vicious, cycle. And at the end of the day, it's a breakup. And so with this, the next step into that, into taking that action, is to begin to focus on yourself again and improving, rebuilding yourself. I like to call it reinventing, because now it's a great opportunity to do that. And to reinvent yourself, because I'm sure there's things, and I know it was for me, there were things that I'd put off or wanted to do and never did get around to doing, because whether it been time or a social stigma, but I mean, you kind of at a point of, it's actually a blessing in disguise that you're in this low, there's a bottom, so to speak. And it's like there's really nowhere to go but up. And then look, I know obviously things get worse, but in terms of, let's keep it in context here. So you're low, you're beaten down, you feel like shit, it's the end of the world. You can be in such pain that it's physical pain. You're stressed, your nerves are bad, your anxiety's at all-time high, your cortisol is flooding your body, you feel run down and beaten down. You vacillate between feeling tired and not wanting to get out of bed to not being able to sleep, constantly thinking about this person and in pain. So this is actually an okay place to be, to make a big move, going back the other way, going back up. And it's a great opportunity if you can just begin taking the action. You don't even have to make sense of it and understand it right now, but here's a few things you could do to begin pulling out of this and actually, redirecting this fucked up situation to a positive back to you, and putting this time and energy into you, into yourself. I mean, let's face it, some of the greatest things happened from men, inventions and moves made were, broken heart and empty pockets. Great motivators for anybody to make change. And I mean, essentially, if you think about it, the person that you really wanted the most rejected you. And so now who are you trying to impress at this point? Do you see my point now? So why not do exactly what it is you've been wanting to do? But here's a few things you could do to start to get that momentum, I guess you could say, get that momentum to begin making those changes. And one, and this is huge, and I think this is I don't think this is talked about enough, like even in the psychological realm, in terms of psychological help and mental health issues, is hit the gym, exercise, go tune your body up. That helps from so many different angles, other than just getting jacked and sexy. The feeling of accomplishment, the long-term commitment to something quality and seeing a positive result. You get stronger, you think clearer, you sleep better, your sexual performance goes up, your physical attractiveness goes up, obviously. Well, that's going to go with diet, but we're going to get on to that next. And it starts to give you a sense of accomplishment. Every time you go to the gym, and especially if you can really commit, which you should be able to, is committing to go into the gym 4 times a week. Get with a trainer. I can help with that. With a simple workout program and a simple diet plan to apply to suit your needs individually. And apply that 4 times a week at the gym. In a month and a half, 2 months time, you're going to see some awesome results. And that may be about the time, probably a month, 6 weeks. And that's just a ballpark. Like I said before, I don't know what your rate of recovery is and whatnot. But, 6 months, in between 1 and 2 months, you're at least beginning to not feel fucked up. And you can at least think clearer. Like, going through the day is not as bad. And you've come to terms with the fact that, this relationship's over. You're beginning to move on a little bit. And so that those positive results you're getting from the gym are going to coincide with you starting to feel a little bit better. And that's just going to compound the effect. You understand that? It's just going to make it that much better. When you start to feel better, you're going to start to look better. You're going to start getting more looks. You're going to notice, other chicks looking at you, dudes complimenting you, people in your family noticing, and you're going to be the last person to notice. But by 2 months, you're doing 4 days a week, and your diet and rest is on point, you're going to start feeling and looking better. And that's the truth. So there, step 1. Step 2 is reevaluating your diet. Chances are you're eating like shit, and you don't even realize it, because the average American diet today, even, in the West, in the civilization as a whole, the West is just shit food and diets. And it reflects on the population and how people are and how they look. Just unhealthy, sickly, obese. And there's such a small number of men, I could say people in general, but this is going to be geared towards my guys out there, of men who keep themselves physically attractive and keep yourself strong. This is a very appealing masculine trait, is to look strong and healthy. And not only is it appealing, And is it a solid masculine characteristic? It's rare. And that's just what's happened to society today. It looks like things are turning around, so that's a definite positive. But in order for you to stand out and be in that number and be in that upper tier, it doesn't take much work. And this is one of the things, is being sub 15% body fat. That's not really hard to achieve. You know, if you're working 4 days a week, getting a rest, getting your diet on point, you know, and doing the right shit, you can walk around 12% body fat. It's not that hard. Now, it may take a while to get there, depending on where you are, but it's not unrealistic or unattainable. It's just going to be to the degree with which you commit to that. And, you know, so with that exercise, the workout regime, your routine, is going to be the diet and how you're eating. You know, put a little time and energy and research into what does your body need, you know, daily, calorie-wise, to feed and maintain itself for recovery, for growth, for overall health and well-being. And then with that number, you know, if it's, you know, I don't know, what is it, 2,000 a day, which I don't agree with that. That's like the, now I forget the name of the government, the FDA's guidelines is at 2,000 calories a day. That's shit, if you ask me. Because you burn calories just using your brain every day, you know, thinking about shit. And being under extreme stress, you know, puts even that much more of a strain in your body. Anyway, you know, you find that number, and so once you find your calorie intake required to function on an average day, you know, what your caloric needs are, then you can begin to fulfill those needs with clean, healthy, organic, whole, as close to raw food as possible. And you know, you find that good macro balance, which is different for everyone. You know, your fat, carbs, and protein intake. And then, you know, the good vegetables, fruits, you know, all these things that, you know, repair your body and mind. You know, and it works for overall function, your muscles, your skeletal system, your pituitaries, you know, your whole endocrine system, brain power, nervous system, all that. It all matters. Just work out this diet, and then the next component, and this is the threes: eats, training, rest, and diet. And now here's the rest part. You know, that you're getting. You know, they say 8 hours a night. For some people, that's perfectly attainable. I know others are working, you know, certain fields, shift work, cops. I worked in a field in refining where, you know, working a day shift, that was almost impossible, living a normal life. I used to have to get up at 2:30 a.m. And 8 hours was, you know, almost just absurd for me to even think I was getting 8 hours of sleep. And, but I mean, I could make it up on other days. You know, some studies show that that's, you know, reasonable way to, where you could short your sleep for a certain amount of time, then make it up and your body can recover it, like, you know, like you'd been doing it consistently. I don't know. I was making a living and I went with what I had to do. But I found the time, right now, if I can hit 7, I'm good. That's going to vary. But I mean, as a general rule of thumb, 8 hours of sleep. Which is necessary for your body to recover. You rest and recover. And all those nutrient-dense foods that you're eating, are all these nutrients are being delivered, the muscles are being repaired, your nervous system is rebooting, your digestive system is at work, you know, resetting and all this stuff while you're asleep. So you need that rest. It's crucial. So if you leave one of these three out, if you eat right and, you know, rest properly, you're not working out, there's going to be no growth. If you're working out, and resting, but you're eating like shit, no growth. So interchange any of those any way you want. You need all three. You need a complete. That has to be well-rounded and complete. Training, diet, and rest. And you would be surprised how much your quality of life goes up from there, which, redirects back into the no contact process. And just doing those small things, well, I say small, it's definitely a commitment. And it's a lifestyle change. You're not going to say, I'm going to commit to this, quote, diet. Like, it's a lifestyle change. You're going to commit to being a different person. And this is part of the reinvention. Like, this is just a way of life now, where you train regularly, you take care of your body. And I'm not saying, you got to eat, bean sprouts and water every day for the rest of your life. There's still room for, junk food in moderation. And not just clump junk food in, to the whole, it's candy, cake, fried chicken, greasy ass hamburger and fries. You better believe I get my hamburger and fries every now and then. I love hamburgers. But a large majority of my time is spent eating clean. So I can afford to do that. It's no big deal. Matter of fact, if you go 3 weeks, eating pretty good, and you have a meal like that, you often pay a price. You get lethargic and tired and heavy and sleepy. And like, why the fuck did I do that? But you just have a craving and you give into it. And it's okay. Who gives a shit at that point? Don't absolutely cancel out anything that's, sinfully delicious, just for the sake of keeping a squeaky clean, and perfect health, because it's just not the way it is. So if you're doing things, it's like the 80-20, 90-10 rule. 80-90% of the time, you're eating right, doing it good, you're sleeping good, you're training regularly. And this is by no means giving you a pass to blow the shit off. But if you have one night where you're going to stay up late, you met somebody, you go on a date, you're having fun, so you eat like shit on a date, you have dessert, you drink a little more than you normally would, you stay up later than you normally would, taking care of things, all right, then so what? The next week or two is going to be full of you not doing that, you taking care of yourself, you working out, eating right, and resting. Anyway, back to how this applies to the no contact. And so the no contact is not just an opportunity to get your ex back. It's an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to grow, to learn, improve, get back to that guy you were that she'd fallen in love with. And that was just attractive and appealing to everybody. Other women, and social groups, people liked having you around. So you get that back. And now it's even better, because now you're doing more. And then you're going to attend to some of the shit that you didn't do, whether it be, learning a language, taking a cooking class, going to learn a trade you may have wanted to learn. Anything that's of interest to you that makes you a more interesting person, a more well-rounded, well-read person. In the event that, in my experience, is you're going to hear back from them at some point. And if you do hear back from your ex, do you want them to be picking up right where they left off with your boring, needy ass? Or do you want to have lost body fat and you're a little fucking jacked and sexy and you put on a little muscle, you're walking a little more upright, and then you look good, your skin looks good, your head looks clear, and you're not picking up right where you left off with being the person you were, because they're going to look at that shit and they're going to be looking for it immediately. And do you want to have something interesting to talk about? And something interesting you've done or doing or in the process of, something you're excited about, that you're feeling better. You want to project that? Wouldn't you want to project, I'm interesting and excited now about where I'm going in life and what I'm doing? And that, so not only that, does that show that you have the capacity to do that, is that it is also recognition and validating what it is that they saw at the end of that relationship, and that you're aware that, okay, I can take responsibility for my part, and this is what I've noticed as well, so here, I've done something about it. So it shows, you know, emotional maturity, mental toughness, obviously, you know, physical attractiveness, and, you know, the aesthetics of it are going to be nice. Just so many benefits coming. And guess what? If they don't come back, oh well. You're going to get someone better. You're going to meet someone even better. And then you're still going to use this window of time to keep growing and keep expanding and keep broadening yourself. You know, get involved with something. Read. You know, find the community that, you know, is like, one book I like is David Goggins' book. You know, You Can't Hurt Me. Awesome book. I just like that shit. That's my cup of tea. And they have an online community, Facebook group. So I joined that and I followed it. I don't invest too much in it, but it's like-minded people. And every now and then, you know, with thousands of members, there may be one person in there that, you know, I kind of see and I click with, we chat a little bit, and, you know, and it's fun. But then you start finding like-minded people, because you stepped out of your comfort zone. You've allowed yourself to grow a little bit and expand your thinking, and, you know, put yourself out there to explore a little bit, to see what else is out there. And that is interesting shit. That's interesting. And then there, you have something to talk about right there. So, you know, the point is yes, the no contact is to give that person what they wanted. Respectfully, you know, and I say that a lot. When I did it, it wasn't respectfully. You know, I was pissed and bitter at first. But you're ultimately giving them the fucking breakup, because that's what they wanted. It's like, okay. And, you know, there's going to be a little pleading and shit before it's... Rarely have I seen, unless you know about this stuff already, unless somebody who's been through this understands no contact, how it works, and has actually has real life experience with it. That is about the only people you're going to see. If somebody says, okay, hey, look, you know, whatever fucking excuse they give you, that I'm not ready for this, or I'm thinking about other things in life, and, you know, okay. Well, that's cool. Well, you know, go get it figured out. Give me a call when you get it figured out. Take care. Rarely is that can happen, unless you've been through this and you know it. You know, you already know about no contact, and that is the right approach to take. There's going to be a little begging and pleading. Well, I don't understand. Well, why can't? What if we do this? And there's going to be, nobody's going to let it go initially, but that's okay. It's no big deal. But it's okay to leave with the understanding, like, hey, I don't want this. I don't want this breakup. You know, just so you know where I stand. You know, this is not what I want. But, you know, if you change your mind and I'm available, you know, we'll pick it back up later. So, that's one part of the contact. It's giving them the breakup, just like they wanted it. And it's the second part is to allow the distance, to create some distance between all the negative associated with you in their lives. Because this coming to this determination has not been easy for them either. You know, and if it's, quite honestly, the breakup began usually weeks or months before it was even said and done. So that gives you an idea. It's a bit of a conflict. Like I said, I've been on both ends of this, and it's not easy all the time, unless the person's a raving fucking lunatic and you're like, all right, you gotta go. And it's that easy. Usually the person's is a decent person. They just displaying so much unattractive behavior. It's not easy. And so that breakup had begun taking place weeks or months before that, and they had arrived to that point. Now you're going to give it to them, and it's arrived to that point because there's so much more negative than positive that was happening. And so now there needs to be time and space so there can be distance put in between you and the association of all the negative in their lives. It's another part of it. And so what that usually isn't, what usually happens with that, the faded effect bias, I'm not going to get into it, you can look it up, I will in another video, is essentially the positive rises to the top, the negative begins to subside. And that just takes time, especially depending on the severity of it and the amount of time it's been displayed, different, the amount of positive things that have happened, that these people can associate with later down the line when the positive things do start resurfacing. How the emotional connection and whatnot. So, that time and space is necessary to put in between the negative experience and the association with you with that. And then, third part is it's all time for you to put back into yourself and not give any fucks about whatever else is going on, who's doing what, but just putting that time and energy back into you. So when the time comes, it's my belief, a large majority of exes always reach back out at some point. They can't help it. It's just a part of the process. It's the nature of the process. And if not, it's somebody else where you're going to have faced these things and been completely honest about to yourself about your part in that. Work on that shit, whether it's getting professional help, which you sometimes in the beginning can be hugely beneficial. Going over the things I talked about, the training, diet, and rest, exploring other things. And for men, I highly recommend getting into a martial art. I left that out. But, there's so many, lessons and so much to be had from taking a martial art. Jiu-jitsu, boxing, Thai, Muay Thai, and wrestling. That's like the top 4 basics that, I think can be beneficial for so many reasons other than, just learning how to, having a basic understanding of how to defend yourself. There's so much that comes out of that. Better understanding of yourself. You get humbled every time you get on a mat with somebody. You're developing your body. You're becoming bigger, faster, stronger, more capable of defending yourself. That brings a sense of confidence and assuredness. Learning the stuff and performing it and seeing yourself develop. Kind of like the same process of working out when you start at 0 and you begin to gain a little and a little and a little, little bit by little bit. And all those little bitty deposits of time and energy and effort, add up to a huge sum of, quality time spent, improving yourself and bettering yourself. So, and then, putting that work in the beginning about coming to terms with what you did and, your contribution into that breakup. Because look, I don't care how butthurt you are, whatever the case may be, how wronged you feel, you had a part in that shit. And it is detrimental to your future moving forward that you face that shit, that you're just honest about it. At this point, like I said, you're in a mindset, you're in this hole of darkness and despair, What have you got to lose? Just fess up to it. So to ensure that this doesn't happen again, it doesn't come up again, because it will if it goes unchecked and dealt with and you're in denial about you having a part in that shit. Inevitably, it's going to come back up, whether it's with your ex or with somebody else that you may meet and click with. And you're just going to repeat the same destructive patterns. And so, anyway, just to shed a little light on that and a little follow-up to the no contact support and the steps taken. You know, and this is just one of the things that you can do within that time window after the breakup. And of course, you know, there's other things we can get into more detail. I could go on and on about this stuff. So I hope this video helped. I hope you can gain a better understanding. And if there are any questions about what I said, or I'm sure I didn't explain everything, you know, exactly to a T. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Any other topics, leave them in the comments that you'd like to hear about. Comment on this video. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to see my upcoming videos as they're released. And with that, we'll close it out. See y'all on the next one.